Let's get a little close. Let's get close, y'all. This is me and you talking. We just getting to know each other. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the fishing channel. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of things here, of course, all things fishing related for the most part. Might do something different, don't know yet. But as you can tell by the title, I'm gonna give y'all my top 4 picks. January, February fishing. Hold on. Okay. Didn't know if y'all could hear that or not. But let's talk January, February, transitioning. Still cold every now and then. You got cold fronts. You got the sporadic weather where it gets warm post storm. I thought the camera went out. I'm practicing on this GoPro as well because I know I'm gonna start using it when I start doing fishing, but I wanted to see how it looked through the camera, so bear with me. But we're gonna talk about post storm, pre-storm, when it's cold, when it's not cold, my top 4 picks. I'm doing too much rambling. Quick video, let's get straight to it. All right, so my first picks got to be my crankbaits. Everybody throws crankbaits this time of year. Very versatile bait. Slow them down, do a slow retrieve when it's colder and they lethargic. Kind of hard to get a bite. You can actually speed them up a little bit. And bass will usually tend to put their energy on that one big bite, and that's another good thing. Really quick, I got the Rapala, the DT6. You can't go wrong with this crankbait when it's cold. Honestly, you can go lighter line, get down there a little more. You can go heavier line, stay up a little higher. Usually, one thing I've noticed is DT6 actually dive deeper than 6, of course. I've had some instances where it goes 7 or 8. Usually, I can't give you the steady retrieve that I always use. I've caught them reeling it kind of fast and stopping. Just burning it, because it's the winter time. You want to burn it, get a reaction strike from that nice size bass sometimes. Other times you can give it a steady retrieve around some trees. Usually I throw, if I see a tree and it's sticking out some deeper water, I throw way past it, because I know once I get in that area, that's where the strike zone gonna hit, and I usually catch them pretty good on that DT6 fishing trees. Now, the Spro rock crawler, I love throwing this as well. I just dropped every bait. I love throwing this as well. Of course, in rocks. Most scenarios it's gonna be rocks. This one dives 9 to 14. I think this is the 55. This one dives 9 to 14. Usually when it's those steep drop-offs with the big chunk rock or just rocks in general, this is what I usually love to throw. That longer bill, as you can see. I don't know if y'all can see it, because hold on, that longer bill. Deflect rock, great. This one actually deflect pretty good too. But I usually throw this one when I'm at my rock scenario. It deflects off the rock really good. And of course, when it hit that rock, it'll get that certain reaction strike. This one has more of a tighter wobble. The DT6 is a good winter bait because, as you can tell, if you look at it, it's more flat. It's not as wobbly, so it's got more of a tighter wobble. But when you kind of burning it, you can make it give it a little more action. And this one has kind of got a wider wobble, but I don't know, it's just something about that winter time. They get good strikes. I like using them. I really just switch it up depending on my scenario. Like I said, I throw this around trees. My open water spots that I know fish are gonna be at, hard bottom. I throw these hard bottom too, but I usually throw these around rock. Like when I'm fishing rivers on the main river, throw it right up on the bank, bring it down. It's gonna hit that chunk rock. Usually you get that reaction strike. I love throwing my crankbaits. I had the names right, you know, I'm cold with the editing, so I'm gonna have it there so y'all can know exactly what I'm using. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not gatekeeping. Next bait. All right, and excuse, I'm a rookie at this. I'm not a rookie, but you know, I'm getting back into that editing, that recording phase. So don't mind it. It's gonna get better. But my next bait, swim baits. Got to throw Nakia Tech. I throw the 2.8 to 3.3 a lot. When I'm throwing swim baits, because usually you can catch numbers with that downsize, and that's what I tend to do. I like to get them on the downsize, and then when I got my for sure 5, or you know, usually when I'm fishing, even when I fish for fun, I do tournament scenarios in my head. So my goal is to get that 5, and then I upsize. Usually people go opposite. They'll start bigger swim baits and then go down. I like to start down but go up. Everybody's different when it comes to that, but that's just my personal preference. And I usually throw the Kia Tech, The Squadron head, Strike King, I think it's like a 3/8. I throw 3/8. I throw a 4th a lot. I throw an 1/8 a lot. It kind of just depends on where I'm fishing, my depths. So like, if I want to get down there, I'm gonna throw my heavier head, let it get down there, creeping it real slow. If they kind of biting, like if it's a pre-front, I catch them better pre-front, pre-storm, getting them, just letting it hit about mid-column instead of bottom, kind of reeling it a little quicker, and I get a lot of bites that way. But then when it's colder, of course you got to let it hit bottom and just kind of creep it like real slow. You got to take your time when it's real cold. But usually when it's post-storm, they on bottom and it's warm, but you can get away with going just a little quicker. Usually you get some good bites on them, but I only throw the Pro Red really, unless I'm using like something with a trailer and I want to relate the colors. But for the most part, this is going to catch you some bass in any scenario. If you're having a rough day and you want to go move and bait, bam, next bait. Trying to get it quick, just trying to get back in the mood, in the vibe. It's cool to have y'all back, and I like this face-to-face action. And then we're going to give you some face-to-face. We're going to give you some let's go fishing. And, of course, y'all going to get tournament videos. But next bait, rambling. Now, a lot of people don't really talk about this bait for their top winter baits. February, January transition. I'm going to throw this shaky head to the death of me. I'm going to throw it to the death of me. I don't care what time of year it is. I'm throwing a shaky head. And the thing about it is, people call it a shaky head. Some people call it a shaking head. I think people from the north do. But what you want to do, switch up your cadence. Switch up how you fish it through the different times of the year. So right now, a lot of people say you want to pull your rod, reel your sled, pull your rod. You want to fish it real slow. That's only when it's real cold. In the south, I don't really have days where I have to fish like that. It gets cold, but not that cold, in my opinion. So what I do, I throw it out, let it hit bottom. I am dragging bottom for the most part, but I'm not pulling. I'm more so lifting mine, because it's gonna come straight to me, and it's gonna at the same cadence as if I'm lifting it. So then I drop it, but I don't shake it. Usually, you know, you give it some shakes, there go a spot. Me, I'm more of a I jerk mine just a little bit. They say don't do it, but me, I gotta give mine 1, 2, 3. No more than 3 though. And I switch it up. It's like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just switch up my cadences, and I catch a lot of big bass this time of year with a shaky head. A lot of people don't really give it that credit though, but really it's just the big brother of what I'm showing you next. Like this right here will catch some bass. Favorite 2 trailers. Gotta throw my worms on the. And me personally, it's only like 3-4 color worms I'm using max. But if I'm getting on a good spot bite, watermelon chartreuse tip, I don't know. I always used to just use watermelon with the black flake, but then this chartreuse tip, it gives a brim orientation in my head, because you know when you see brim in the water, they got that light tail behind them. But this right here gonna catch some fish. I'm not lying to you. If I'm on a good spot bite, I can get them dialed in on a shaky head with this worm in no time. And usually, if it's a spot bite, usually when I use this color in general, I'm breaking about that much of the worm off. So really, I could buy a 4-inch pack and still do the same thing. But I like going with the 6, because sometimes, of course, those bigger bass are gonna do it for that bigger bite and for that bigger meal. So I always get these by default. And when I'm fishing, when I'm in my mode, I'm not, let me get the smaller pack. Let me break this off, get it back on, let me get back out there. So that's just what I do. And I love using the shaky head. Like, that's in my hand majority of the time, all through the year. I just switch up my cadence. I done found out how to fish it any time of the year, and I catch good fish. So that's just something, that's a confidence bait. That's my confidence bait. And you'll see that soon. Like, I'm going to throw that a lot. But June bug as well. Now, I've looked into it a lot. I haven't really got a for sure answer, but a lot of people say bass tend to bite that purple color variant, blue variant, a lot better. Bigger bass bite these colors better. Now, based off my past, me fishing with my granddad, fishing in general, this June bug green flake is gonna do it to it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I done seen so many big bass caught on that color opposed to any other color. But I only throw like 4 colors. But that's always been a confidence color because you can throw it any time of the year. Usually, even in clear water, you know, rule of thumb, you go more natural in clear water, but you can still get away with catching nice bass on Junebug in that clear water. And I think it's because of that whatever science they trying to give me with the bigger bass. But for the most part, natural color, bam, that's gonna catch them too. I catch more largemouth on that Junebug, but when I spots tend to get that watermelon a lot better. Now, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. And if you see me do this, like stick my hand and tap the screen, it's because I can see myself right here. And I like seeing myself while I'm talking to y'all, but I ain't really done my research. Maybe it's a setting I can go to keep it on, but battery life, I don't know. We're going to get into it. But let's go with the last bait for my top 4. Now, everybody different. Everybody got their own opinions. Everybody fish different water. I'm not the type to degrade what somebody else is fishing or talk about it, or they, you know, you might say I'm not catching fish. That's fine. I'm still gonna use it. But let's go to the last bait. Now, one thing I know I can catch a fish on it any time of the year. Well, not any time, but when it's cold and these fish just not biting nothing. You see that? Little net rig. The net rig will not disappoint you. It hasn't disappointed me. If it disappoints you, that's new. Now, what I like to throw it on right here is a Yamamoto Grub 5-inch. Look, I haven't really seen many people talk about this. Now, when it comes to jig fishing, jigs are another great bait to throw in the winter. I'm going double grub. You get 2 action. It's got just enough kick for cold water. And that's one thing I noticed about the Gary Yamamoto. Like, you can fish grubs, any kind of grub, your favorite grub, but when it's cold, that Yamamoto, that plastic, it hit a little different. It's still giving you some action, but it's not giving you too much. Because one thing I've noticed, cold water, and it's like this, and I pull it, that right there gonna do its job. You gonna get a good strike off there, usually off the strength alone. But cold day, I'm reeling it slow. You see my shadow? Slow winding. Let me put my hands up so y'all can see. Slow, but this is gonna overcompensate for you reeling so slow, because this right here is gonna give you that action. Now, like I said, I'm not the type to do that every time. I will drag bottom if I find rock. If I find hard bottom and I'm in a decent depth of water, I will slow drag it. But I do pop mine a little bit too. 1, 2, 3. No more than 3 pops in the winter. Like, that's my rule of thumb. I don't know how everybody else do it, but it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, one thing I have noticed, when I catch big bass on this or the shaky head, it's usually 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, and then I let it sit. And let it sit for a while. That's what's gonna really get your bite. After you show them they got food here, you can let it sit there, and they'll eventually do the rest. That's one thing I have noticed. So I do my sporadic for the winter. It's sporadic, but it's more of a. It's not. I'm not doing too much, because a lot of people mistake doing too much action in the winter time, and even when they think they're not doing a lot of action, it's too much action. So like, that might be too much action for everybody else. That's what I use. And you might say, I don't catch enough big fish. I catch big fish though. So in my head, I got it. That's what I want to do. That's my action. That's my steez. Everybody else might be like, I'm not doing it. And don't do it. Everybody got their own thing. I'm just trying to help you with my 4. Now, those are my 4. If you want me to go in deeper detail, now I can break it down. I've been fishing a long time, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You see the gray. You see the gray. I've been fishing a long time. So I got my sciences. Everybody has their own. Everybody does their research on YouTube. Everybody does, you know, everybody does something different. Me, I do too. I have my own theories and own ways of processing certain baits, some ways to fish. But if you want me to go in deeper detail, leave a message in the comments. Send me a message. I like any type of videos y'all want to see. Let me know. If I got something on it, I'll do it. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Now, like I said, we got more coming. I appreciate y'all. Look, leave a like, subscribe. Tell me your favorite wintertime baits in the comments. And I did leave some good baits out. Alabama rig, catch bass crazy in the winter. The jig, like I was saying, catch bass crazy in the winter. Now, you can get them on the Alabama rig schooled up easy. Cause you got that bait, you got everything at the, you know, you got buffet. Alabama Rig. I'll put a little picture if you don't know. And Jig. One of them slow rolling bass, but it's big, bulky profile for this time of year. They gonna make that effort to make that, to bite that. But those are my top 4. And just be on the lookout for more videos to come. I got a lot of content coming up. I thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all take it easy.